Hi, welcome to Seshu-Solutions. This is Anusha. Today, I'm going to teach you about decimal multiplication. This is part 2 video of the decimal multiplication. In this video, I'm going to teach you about decimal numbers multiplying by tens, hundreds, and thousands. Okay, so let me explain you with few examples. Okay, the first example I'm taking is 1.234 multiplied by 10. Okay, so when you're multiplying 1.234 by 10, we'll just move one place to the right. So we are moving the decimal point just one place to the right, and we will write it as 12.34. So when we are multiplying 1.234 times 10, we are just moving the decimal point one place to the right and keeping the answer as 12.34. So the second example is 1.234 times 100. So when you're multiplying the decimal point 1.234 times 100, we have to move the decimal point two places to the right. We are jumping just two places to the right. So we will write it as 123.4. Okay. So when you're multiplying by 100, we are just moving the decimal point two places to the right. Let me do the third example. Like 1.234 when you multiply by 1000. So when you multiply by 1000, because we have three zeros here, we are moving the decimal point three places to the right. Because you're multiplying by 1000, we are moving the decimal point three places to the right. So we can write it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Because we moved to the three places, so you'll get a point here, which we can write it as 1234.0, or just we can write it as 1234. Okay. So now the same example, if you are taking 1.234 when you are multiplying it by 10,000, because you are multiplying it by 10,000, we have to move the decimal point four places. So what is our original number? 1, 2, 3, 4. In this, we have to move the decimal point from here to one jump, two jump, third jump, and then fourth jump, and keep the decimal point. Because we don't have any number here, just add a 0. Okay, which you can also write it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, which is nothing but 12,340. Let me explain you one more time. Here we are multiplying 1.234 by 10,000. Because we have four zeros over here, so we are moving the decimal point four places to the right. Second jump, third jump, and fourth jump, and keeping the point. Because we don't have any number here, we are adding a zeros. Okay, which is nothing but 12,340. Now, in the fifth example, we will do 1.234 234 times 100,000. In India, we will call this as 1 lakh. But in America, you will call that one as 100,000. So when you're multiplying it by 100,000, we have how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 zeros. So we have to move the decimal point. How many times now? 5 times. One jump to the right, second jump to the right, third jump, a fourth jump, and a fifth jump, and then we will keep a decimal point. Because we don't have any numbers here, we will add zeros. Okay, because you're multiplying by 100,000, we have to move the decimal point 5 steps to the right. So starting from here, I'm jumping 1 jump to the right, second jump to the right, third jump, fourth jump, and the fifth jump. And we are keeping the decimal point. Let me explain you with few more examples. Now, for example, we have like 567 times 0.1. Okay, 567 times 0.1. I explained this one in the last video. In that, I told you like first do the regular multiplication. So 567 times 1 is 567. This is step 1. We'll not consider the decimal numbers. We'll just take the whole numbers and you will multiply. This is a step 1. In step 2, we will count the decimal places. 567 number does not have any decimal point, so you will do it as 0 decimal places. Okay, and 0.1 has 1 decimal place. What do you mean by decimal place? After the decimal point, we have only 1 digit here. So we will write it as 1 decimal place. One decimal place. Okay, so now what we will do is we will add both of them. So 0 plus 1 is nothing but you're adding the decimal places. So 0 plus 1 is nothing but 1 decimal place. Okay, so now 567 times 0.1 is nothing but we have 567. But because we have 1 decimal place, we are jumping just 1 point to the left and keeping the decimal point. Okay. Now, let me explain you another few more examples. Let me recap with the yesterday's video. Okay. So now, for example, we have 2.8 times 6.3. We have, if you have a number, 2.8 times 6.3. So what we will do now, first you will take the regular whole numbers and you will multiply. 3 times 8 is 24. We are doing regular multiplication. 3 times 8 is 24 because we got a carry as 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 2. We have to add 3 times 2 is 6 and 6 plus 2 is 8. So we are writing 8 here. Now, because you're multiplying by 6, which is 10's place, you'll keep 1's place as 0. 6 times 8 is 48. So 48, we'll write 8 here and the carry will keep on the top of the next number. So now 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. Okay, we did 6 times 8 as 48, 0, 8, 48, 8, and then we have 4 as a carry, so I kept on the top of the 2. 6 times 2 as 12, 12 plus adding carry, 12 plus 4 is 16. Now what we will do, we will add those two numbers. 4 plus 0 is 4, 8 plus 8 is 16, and we got 1 as a carry. 6 plus 1 is 7 and 1, which is nothing but 1764. Now, what is our step 2? Step 2 is to count the decimal places. Step 2 here in this is counting the decimal places. So 2.8 and 6.3. Decimal places is nothing but after the decimal point, how many digits you have. After the decimal point here, we have only one decimal place. One decimal place. Okay. Now 6.3. In 6.3, we have again only one digit. So you will write it as one decimal place. So when you add them together, we got two decimal places. We got two decimal places. Now, step 3 is to keep the decimal places. So how we keep the decimal places? What we got 2.8 times 6.3 is nothing but we got 1764, right? Because we have two decimal places here, we are just jumping two places to the left and keeping the decimal point. Because we have two decimal places, we are jumping two places to the left and keeping the decimal point. So what we did in step 1, we did to do 2.8 times 6.3, we just took the whole numbers, 28 times 63, and we did the regular multiplication in step 1. Step 2, we count the decimal places. Decimal places is nothing but after the decimal point, how many digits you have. We have only one decimal place. And in 6.3, again, after the decimal point, we have only one decimal places. So you will add the two decimal places. We have 1 plus 1 will become 2 decimal places. So in that step 3, from here, we got 28 times 63 as 1764. Because we have two decimal places, you are moving two steps to the left and keeping the decimal point. In the final answer, we are jumping two jumps to the left and keeping the decimal point. Okay. I have seen kids has a trouble doing when they have like any number like 0.01, something like that. So let me take one example of that and explain it to you. So like 46 times if we have 0.01, okay, 46 times 0.01. So again, in this, what is our step 1? Step 1 is just do the regular multiplication. So what we will do, 46 times 1, which is 46. Okay. So what is step 2 now? Counting the decimal places. Does the number 46 has any decimal places? No, because there is no decimal point there. So we will keep 0 decimal place. Okay. Now in 0.01, we have two decimal places like 1 and 2. We have two decimal places. So keep two decimal places. Okay, now we'll add both of them. 0 plus 2 is 2 decimal places. Okay. Now what we will do in our final step, which is step 3, 46 times 0.01, right? 46 times 0.01. We got 46. Because we have 2 decimal places, we are just moving 2 steps to the left and keeping the decimal point. Okay. So in the first example, we did 2.8 times 6.3, that we did we took 2 decimal numbers and we multiplied. In the second example, we took a whole number and you're multiplying it by 0.01, which is just 46 times 1 is 46. And 46, number 46 has no decimal point, so we have 0 decimal places there. And in 0.01, we have 2 decimal places. So when you add them together, we got 2 decimal places. So in the final answer, we will jump 2 steps to the left and we keep the decimal point. Okay. In the final example, that is the last method of decimal multiplication, like if we have 5.678 times 100. Okay. 5.678 times 100. Okay. I told you in today's starting example, in the today's starting video, like when you're multiplying by 100, you will just move the decimal point 2 steps to the right and you will write your answer. So because you're multiplying by 100, we are just jumping 2 decimal places to the right and keeping the decimal point. So it will become 567.8. Okay, 567.8. Okay. The same example, if we do like when we relate to the yesterday's video, again, we will do 5,678 times 100, which you will get it as 567,800. Because if the kids get confused whether to move right or left, then just go with our regular tradition method where you're just taking a whole numbers and multiplying by 100. We are just doing the step 1 is always a regular multiplication. Okay. So when you multiply 5,678 times 100, we got 567,800. Okay. Now we will count the decimal places. That is our step 2. In 5.678, we have 3 decimal places. The decimal places is nothing but after the decimal point, how many digits you have. Here we have 3 digits. So we will write it as 3 decimal places. Okay. Now in whole number 100, we don't have any decimal places. So which is 0 decimal place. Okay, 0 decimal places because we don't have anything. So when you add them together, we got 3 decimal places. We have 3 decimal places. So what is our final step? This is step 2 we did now. The final step 3 is nothing but to keep the decimal point. So what is our question? 5.678 times 100. We got it as 567,800. Now, how many decimal places we have? 3 decimal places. So what we are doing here, we are jumping just 3 decimal places to the left, here we are the decimal places will always move to the left and keep the decimal point, which is nothing but 567.800, or we can also rewrite it as 567.8. Did you observe in both the methods we got the same answer? But the easy one is when you multiply by 100, tens, 100 and 1000 any decimal number, we can count how many zeros you have and jump to the right, like how we did here. Like we are multiplying by 100, so just we moved it to the right, the 2 decimal places, and then you kept the answer. But if you have a confusion way to keep the decimal point, then just go with the regular multiplication. So like first we will do the regular multiplication. We'll not consider the whole numbers. We'll just take 5,678 and we'll multiply by 100. You'll get this answer here. And then in 5.678, in step 2, we'll count the number of decimal places. So in decimal places is nothing but after the decimal point, how many digits you have. Here we have 3 of them. So you have kept 3 decimal places. And in 100, it's a whole number. So we don't have any decimal places. So you're keeping 0 decimal places. Now you're adding both of them. So which is 3 decimal places. So in the step 3, we'll keep the decimal point. So in the final answer, because we have 3 decimal places, you are jumping to the left 3 times. You are jumping to the left 3 times and keeping the decimal point. And 567.800 is nothing but 567.8. Okay, I hope I gave you a clear idea about decimal multiplication. You can find a PDF including all the problems discussed in this video along with the worksheets for practice in the description link below. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.